Hi guys, welcome to Dubs Only Sports. This is episode 20. Last episode I said it was 20. It's not 20, it was 19. And I just forgot what number we were on. But before we get into this episode, make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then you can find the full episodes on YouTube and Spotify. Championship games are set. We have Eagles playing the 49ers, and we have Chiefs playing the Bengals. But before we get into the championship games, we're going to discuss the divisional games. And we're first going to start on the NFC side, particularly with Cowboys 49ers. Going into it, I thought it would be a little more high scoring than that, to be fair. I feel like we saw the true colors of Brock Purdy. I feel like we realized that Brock Purdy is a human being as well. BCB, we love you, but yeah, I think the heebie-jeebies kind of got to him in yesterday's game. What about you?
I mean, that game was a little surprising. Me too. I also expected it to be a little bit higher scoring than that. I know those two defenses are very good, but I thought it was gonna be a little more higher scoring. But yeah, I feel like it was relatively expected what happened. We saw Dak Prescott look like Dak Prescott, just be super inconsistent, have one great game against the Buccaneers, one terrible game against the 49ers, kind of what
Mm-hmm.
you expect. Also, the Cowboys losing in the divisional game. What's new? Seven
Yeah.
straight losses in the divisional round. Like it's just what you come to expect. No one that actually had a brain actually thought that they were going to go to San Francisco and win that game. So
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone expected that. The only
Yeah.
thing I was a little surprised about was that the 49ers offense looked like not good at all the whole
Yeah.
day yesterday. And um I mean it's a little bit expected that Brock Purdy kind of has gone back to earth, and as you said, now he like is a human, but I feel like it was just a little surprising that the Cowboys defense just dominated them with the speed that they had and the power that they had. Like the Niners couldn't really run the ball at the beginning. They couldn't pass the ball. They were just totally struggling. And like they only scored field goals in the first half and they were basically on turnovers. So it's basically the defense won them the game. But the 49ers have been a defensive center team the whole year. Their offense is always kind of just very talented, but kind of what it's not what wins them games, but it keeps them in the game. So it's all centered around the 49ers defense. Nothing too crazy. I feel like what happened was relatively expected, but it sets up a big
Yeah.
game with the Eagles now.
That last play where Zeke lined
Oh
up
my
at
God.
center and just gets absolutely railed by
Yeah.
one of the O linemen. I am just questioning McCarthy's play calling sometimes, but
That play is so emblematic of the Cowboys. I mean, that is just a perfect representation of what the Cowboys are all about. They perform well in the regular season. They go to the playoffs. They might win in the wild card round. Most of the time they lose in the wild card round, and then when they get to the divisional round, they just choke. And that play just shows that like they're not prepared for the moment. Like they're not going to win the game at that point. I totally understand. The game is
mhm.
over. The play made no difference at all. But what play call was that? And the execution also, why would you throw it to the receiver that's closest to the cornerback? Like
Yeah.
throw a little, like throw a slant or throw a pass, like a lateral pass on the line of scrimmage so that you can, like, it made no sense. You have to get it to a guy in space so that he can lateral it. You don't just pass it to a guy right when he's going to get tackled. Like, the execution stupid. It just shows the Cowboys always make these careless mistakes. They
Hmm.
they hurt themselves. They did it last year. It's what you expect. It's what you expect. Nothing surprising. They're not. I mean, they have it. McCarthy's a decent coach, but their coaching is always a little bit sketchy, and they always make a lot of errors, flags, just a lot of mistakes.
Hmm. And I mean, before moving on from this game, we talked about Brett Maher in the last one and said how if he was going to be missing kicks, that it would be brutal for
Yeah,
the Cowboys. And yes, we understand that the extra point was blocked, but by the
he
looks
was
of
gonna
things
miss
and by
that.
the way he hit it off of his foot, that thing wasn't going. It was not
Yeah,
going in. And then I think it was like a fourth and 6 or a 4th and 7 where they were
and they
in
went
field
for it.
goal range
Yeah,
and they went for it. And I'm like, yep, we said that. We
yeah.
said it would happen.
We said it would
If
happen.
he's gonna miss the extra points, then you're not gonna
Yeah,
risk him trying to get a field goal to try and get some points
yeah.
on the board. You're just gonna go for it. So
Just
just
to give him
how
credit, he did hit two field goals. He did
yeah.
bounce back. So
Yeah.
he didn't completely choke. He wasn't like completely as bad as he was against the Buccaneers. So to give him respect for that.
Hmm.
What must be going on in his mind right now, it must be really tough. But
Yeah.
he hit those two field goals, but yeah, it did impact the game. But even if he
Yeah.
was hitting his field goals, I don't think the Cowboys offense was just so bad. I mean, Dak was Dak. Pollard got hurt. They
Yeah.
had their wide
Unfortunately,
receivers had a
he has a
few
broken leg
drops,
or
but
broken foot, something,
yeah, that
broken
was a
ankle,
bad injury. Yeah.
something going on.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I remember watching
yeah.
that live and going, "Yeah, that is broken."
Yeah, that did not
Um,
look good.
yeah, but moving on to the 49ers matchup in the NFC Championship. We got the Eagles, baby. I got my AJ Brown jersey on. It's a good day. We're feeling great. What did I say?
Yeah, everyone in the comments was mad, but like you said that they were gonna crush the Giants, and
Who
they
scores? I said it would be
absolutely
over. I said it
they
would be
crushed
over.
they crushed the Giants, bro.
Y'all don't
They
listen to
crushed
me.
that literally looked like a college team playing against an NFL. I mean, that was just embarrassing. I mean, they
And
dominated the whole game. 38-7 victory in Philadelphia, 28-0 at halftime. The Giants couldn't get anything going. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes is not him.
no
Everyone thought it was him,
dimes.
not him. The offensive line could not protect him. He threw an interception. Saquon had a hard time running the ball against that Philly front. And then the Philly offense just ran all over the Giants, passed all over the Giants, scored all over the Giants. I mean, it was complete domination. When you talk about a dominant performance, that was a dominant performance.
Yeah. I mean, Danny Dimes, when he comes into Lincoln Financial Field, he should be called Danny Pennies because Abe Lincoln was on that coin yesterday and he was not throwing any dimes. I'll tell you that much. And Saquon Barkley was not running any routes. So Eagles lock down in the divisional. Eagles tend to do well in the first half of the playoffs. It's just towards the end, they really mess it up. That's why, I've been saying for the longest time that it's going to be a 49ers Eagles NFC championship. We now have a 49ers Eagles championship. And I've been saying that the 49ers are going to win this matchup. Yes, they look bad, but I feel like they did need to be humbled a little bit in order to perform against a team like the Eagles because Brock Purdy not just going to waltz into Philadelphia and crush the Eagles. It's a different atmosphere. They're not playing at home for the first time in the playoffs, so it's completely different. It'll be a good game, but as an Eagles fan, I'm literally saying that the Eagles are losing. So no bias here. I genuinely think the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. If the Eagles win, then we're going for the Eagles in the Super Bowl because the AFC is atrocious. And that is what we're getting into next. Bills, Bengals. Joe Shiesty walking in to Buffalo, walked into that stadium and said, "This is my house." Okay, I know every one of you saw this on Instagram. The video of him lobbing that ball up. And while that ball is halfway to its apex, he turns around looking as shisty as ever. You knew. You knew. That was the pregame. We knew the Bengals were winning that game. I know. I saw that and I was like, "Oh crap. Joe Shiesty's feeling it. It's not going to be an
Yeah.
Eagles. It's not going to be a 49ers Bills Super Bowl like I said it's been. God damn it." So, I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize the game started, to be fair. I turn on the TV, it's already 14-0 and the Bengals got the ball halfway down the field. And I'm like, "Oh,
No, that game got ugly quick. I mean, I felt okay. So let's get started. I I love Joe Burrow, and I love him a lot. But like, I just felt bad for the Bills. I kind of wanted them to win. Like,
yeah.
they're always so close to it. They have all these expectations. I'm just like, I feel bad. I want them to win something. And then you go into that game, and the first drive, Joe Burrow's like, "Nah, bro, I'm taking
I'm
over
him."
from the
Yep.
jump start. Like, I'm taking
Yep.
over now." And like, he just goes and marches down 75 yards, 5 or 6 plays, touchdown. And you're just like, I mean, you're like, can Josh Allen respond? Nope, 3 and out. And then Bengals get the ball back, touchdown again. And it's just
Yep.
like, and then at that point, I still wanted the Bills to win because I felt so bad, but I'm like, nah, Joe Burrow's the truth. Joe Burrow is him. If
Yeah.
there's anyone that's him in the NFL, it's Joe Burrow. It's the
Yep.
sheriff. It's Joe Shiesty. It's just
Joe
he's the truth.
Shiesty.
He's the truth. I mean, there's honestly he's arguably we'll get into this later, but arguably the best quarterback in football. He has he's been doing this since LSU. He had the best college season of all time. Now he's in the NFL. In his first year, he tore his ACL. In his second year, which was his first full season, he got his team to the Super Bowl. Now he's in the AFC Championship for the second straight year, heading to Kansas City. I mean, that performance that he had in Buffalo, it was snowing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
The Bills were favored. Everyone was saying the offensive line was going to give him trouble because he had three offensive linemen hurt. Even without 60% of his offensive line, he
Still
looked
lobbing
perfectly
up.
fine, still lobbing up dimes, still just absolutely tearing apart the Buffalo defense. And
Yep.
I don't know if this is like good Joe Burrow. I mean, I know this is good Joe Burrow, but I don't know if this is more so good Joe Burrow or just the Bills flat out choking because that performance that they had was abysmal. I mean, the Bills absolutely sold their season yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
the Bills to be favored, they came in the year Super Bowl favorites. They came in with a projected MVP quarterback in Josh Allen, Stephon
Yep.
Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, right? And
Hmm.
then for them to show up yesterday at home in the snow in Buffalo, Bills Mafia coming out to support, Damar Hamlin in the stands coming to support, and for them
Precisely.
to come out of the gate so slowly to get put in a 14-0 hole, and then just for Josh Allen to not show up at all, did absolutely nothing the whole game. The coaching staff was totally outcoached by the Bengals coaching staff. I mean, they were just I mean, it was 3rd and 2 when the Bengals were down or when the Bills were down by like 14 points in the third quarter. And they're just throwing a 50-yard pass. Like, get the first
Yeah.
down. You have
Yeah.
to
That's what
continue
I.
the drive. It just this stupid play call, stupid all around. The Bills making stupid mistakes everywhere. And I just feel like the Bills are doing the Bills things. Just like the Cowboys did Cowboys things, the Bills are doing Bills things. I mean, the Bills, they made it to the AFC Championship a few years ago. Last year, they had that amazing performance against Kansas City, but they lost. They didn't
Yeah.
win. They lost. And then this year, for them to have all these expectations, and then for them to lose the way they did, it's okay. It's one thing if they lost to the Bengals, fine. But for them to get absolutely torched at home, 27-10, they put up 10 points with supposedly the best offense in the NFL besides the Chiefs. They put up 10 points at home and got absolutely dominated from the start until the end against the Bengals. I just felt like it was embarrassing. Joe Burrow proved that he is clearly and head and shoulders better than Josh Allen. I thought that before, but he proved it. And I
Yep.
just feel like when you look at this from the Bills, I mean, I don't know what the Bills are going to do because Stephon Diggs looks upset. Josh Allen had nothing to say really. He just looked distraught. I
Yep.
mean, what can they do? They have a very talented team and they just didn't perform at all. I mean, it's not like their team is lacking for talent. They had all the advantages. They were at home in the snow, which is the temperature they're used to.
Yep.
All their guys, I mean, they didn't have Von Miller and Damar Hamlin, but most of their team was healthy. And the
Hmm.
Bengals came in with three of their offensive linemen hurt. I mean, we saw when Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers and his offensive line was hurt, the Buccaneers just absolutely sacked him the whole game. He couldn't do
Yep.
anything. And the Bengals offensive line stepped up. I mean, they protected Burrow. Burrow didn't get sacked that much. He was comfortable in the pocket. He got the ball out quick. And the Bills pass rush was supposed to be one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. And I know everyone's gonna say, "Oh, the snow," which it did have an impact, but they couldn't get to him at all. They put no
Yeah.
pressure on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow could
Hmm.
do whatever he wanted. And you look on the other side, the Bengals, who have a decent defense but nothing special, got to Josh Allen the whole game. It made no sense. When I was
Yeah.
watching the game, I was just confused. I'm like, this is like role reversals. I thought this was going to be with the opposite of what was going to actually happen. But credit to the Bengals, credit to Joe Burrow, credit to
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, credit to Zach Taylor. That team deserves to be in the AFC Championship. They proved
Yep.
all the doubters wrong. There's not going to be a
Hmm.
neutral site AFC Championship, and I respect the hell of that performance.
Yeah. I mean, we know that they're playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and we're gonna get into that Chiefs Jags game. But I just want to say really quickly that in his right after the game finished on field interview with Joe Burrow, the confidence, man, the confidence. Better get those refunds. Really,
He's that guy.
wow, that
He
is
is
a
that guy.
violation.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
Bills
God.
Bills Mafia has been violated. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. He's just a savage. When he pulls up in those shades, you know it's over.
It's
Like it's
over.
over for you.
Over.
It's
Yeah.
over. Like don't even show up. I mean, he's just him. I mean, I want to go back to this because I always think of Joe Burrow because of how well he did at LSU, and he's in my head. He's always going to be that LSU quarterback with that amazing season, even though
Hmm.
he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I totally agree with that. But
Yeah.
when he played Trevor Lawrence in the national championship, it's the same Trevor Lawrence that had an undefeated team, won the championship his first year,
Hmm.
and for him to go and absolutely throttle that Clemson team, throttle that Clemson team, it just shows that Joe Burrow's on a different level. I mean, you can't compare him to other quarterbacks because it's not fair.
Hmm.
And we're not including Patrick Mahomes in this because Patrick Mahomes, we know he's great. But when Joe Burrow faces any quarterback in the NFL besides Patrick Mahomes, it's not fair to compare them to him because
Yeah.
he's different. He's
Yep.
different.
Yep. But yeah, so last divisional game was Chiefs and Jags. Not a lot to say. I feel like, we
No.
all kind of knew. Everyone was like, hyping up the Jags because Trevor Lawrence had never lost on a Saturday. So
Like,
good
dude, come
job,
on.
guys.
You're going,
To all the gambling addicts that went, he's never
yeah.
lost on a Saturday.
Oh my
He's
God.
gonna beat the
Money on the
Chiefs
Jags.
on a Saturday. He's gonna beat Patrick Mahomes and an A-team healthy Chiefs on a Saturday.
What
Yes,
happened?
even when Patrick Mahomes is injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, he literally has a high ankle sprain, and the dude just went out and dimed up. You just
Yeah. I think
the
that's what we have
Jags
to
were
talk about
screwed.
though. The only main takeaway from this game, I think, is that Patrick Mahomes is hurt now because that has a massive impact on the whole landscape of the NFL postseason right now. Because
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the most important player in the NFL alongside Joe Burrow. Both of those quarterbacks are the center and the soul of their teams.
Hmm.
And when Patrick Mahomes went down at the beginning of that game and had that high ankle sprain, it was not looking good for the Chiefs. I mean, the Jags were in that game. Henny had to come in. Henny drive them 95 yards down the field and got the touchdown. But if Patrick Mahomes didn't come back into that game, I don't know if the Chiefs win that
Yeah.
game because
There's no way.
I
Absolutely
don't
no
know if
way.
they would. Yeah, because the Jaguars looked like they were gonna pounce on them, and the Jags kind of left some opportunities out there. I mean, for the Jaguars, this is probably one of the better opportunities they're gonna get going into Kansas City. I mean, Patrick Mahomes doesn't is not gonna get hurt all the time, so they had a great opportunity. They didn't capitalize on it. They weren't expected to win, but they could have won. But
Yeah.
now you look at it moving forward. I mean, the Patrick Mahomes injury is massive, is
Yeah.
absolutely massive. Because
Hmm.
you saw in that game, he was not the same quarterback. He's still one of the best quarterbacks, even when he's hurt. But he was not the same quarterback. He couldn't move. All the special plays that he makes, he's not going to be able to make as frequently as he did in the past. Hopefully, he'll be able to heal and be as close to 100% as he can be. He won't be 100%, but as close as possible.
Hmm.
And I think we can get into this now, but now when we look at the quarterbacks in the NFL that are remaining, we have Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy,
Yep.
Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I feel like now it's important. Like quarterbacks in the latter stages of the playoffs often make a big difference. We're gonna go through and rank them all, but now taking into account Patrick Mahomes' injury, who do you think the top four quarterbacks are ranked in the postseason right now, and why?
So we'll go in order. We'll go should we go 4-1 or 1-4?
Go 4-1. Go four to
Four to
one.
one? All right, 4-1. Um, if I'm gonna go 4-1, at the very bottom, I have, well, this is a tricky one, I'll be honest. But if I'm going 4-1, and it is very close between my 3 and my 4, but if I'm going 4-1, I'm going to put Brock Purdy 4 just because this is his first playoff. He's still a rookie. Yes, he did great things for the 49ers at the end of the year towards the playoffs. And, we love what he hasn't lost a game yet. We understand that. But if we're comparing him to the other three quarterbacks, I feel like experience does lack in his case. Obviously, he's only played 7 games. That's less than half the games of all the quarterbacks that we're comparing here. So I just feel like for Brock Purdy, not saying that he's a bad player or that he's the worst of the bunch. I'm just saying that he has the least amount of experience. And that really says a lot. It really said a lot in the Cowboys game because that should have been a clean sweep, especially at home, but it wasn't. So, I feel like that really goes to show. Number 3, I've got Jalen Hurts, my QB, my one and only, my lover boy. Jalen Hurts, I still feel like he'll win NFL MVP. He's done really amazing things for the Eagles, and that's the reason why he will win the MVP is just because of the team that he's on, the situation that he's having to deal with. The Eagles, they only have so many resources. I mean, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, and then you look at their stacked running back lineup. Like obviously that's a lot to work with. But before he really didn't have
Devontae
that, and
Smith.
it's like I already said Devontae Smith.
You said Devontae. I'm like, dude,
Whoops, we've been talking about the Raiders a little too much.
a
I'll
little
be
too
honest.
much.
But yeah, Devontae Smith. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Devontae Smith. So yeah, and to go from what they did last year, which was a losing record, barely getting into the wild card round, getting absolutely bombed out by the Buccaneers, to then be top seed, and then to basically prove that without Jalen Hurts, the team can't win the games. So I have Jalen Hurts 3. Second, Patrick Mahomes, the injury again, really not helping him out. I feel like, it was a very close game with the Jags. It was closer than it should have been. And that is partly because Patrick Mahomes got injured. And, for a guy who is such a high level athlete, I feel like what he should be doing, start recording all these damn State Farm commercials, get to the weight room and start building that muscle up so that we're not breaking our ankles out here. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not seeing Joe Shiesty in any commercials. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, that leaves Joe Shiesty number 1. I mean, love the confidence from this kid. I've loved him since he first came into the NFL. Personally, I thought he was going to be a bust because most college quarterbacks are, and especially from the SEC schools. I mean, I saw a stat the other day that like Jalen Hurts is
First,
the
yeah,
first Alabama quarterback since like 1983 to like get
to
into the
win a
playoffs
playoff
or like
game.
win a
Yeah,
playoff
it's
game. Yeah. So,
crazy, bro.
like
But
it really depends.
Joe Shiesty's different, bro. He's just that guy.
He's a different breed. So yeah, I've got Joe Burrow number 1, Patrick Mahomes number 2, Jalen Hurts number 3, and Brock Purdy number 4. And I'm still sticking with Jalen Hurts as my MVP pick. For all you bettors out there, the MVP pick, Jalen Hurts, without a doubt in my mind. And then Lamar Jackson trade to the Raiders. But anyway, what about you?
Neither
What's
of those
what's
are
your
happening, but okay.
what's your 1 to 4?
Okay, so let me just preface this by saying injuries are included in this list. But
Mm,
in the playoffs, the four remaining quarterbacks are Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts. I'm going to rank them. So at number 4, I have Brock Purdy. I think we saw his true colors against the Dallas Cowboys. He's a good quarterback, but he's basically a game manager. I mean, he has a very like stacked team. His defense is amazing. He has offensive weapons everywhere, but
mm-hmm.
he's a rookie. He still needs to get like fully acclimated in the system. He makes some mistakes. They haven't been costly. He hasn't turned the ball over, but he does make some poor decisions with the ball occasionally. But I like him. I think he's a good quarterback. I just think that out of these four quarterbacks, he's the lowest on the list. At
Yeah.
number 3, I have Jalen Hurts. He's had an amazing year. He runs that offense to perfection. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He can just totally lead that offense, and I really like him. But again, he can't throw the ball at the same level as Mahomes or Burrow. So I'm gonna put him at number 3. At number 2, the only reason Patrick Mahomes is at number 2 is because of the high ankle sprain. If
Yep.
not, he's the best quarterback in football. I don't care what anyone says about how Joe Burrow's playing fine, blah blah blah. He's amazing, but Patrick Mahomes, when healthy, is the best quarterback in football. But
Mm-hmm.
the high ankle sprain is gonna hurt him in this game, and I'm a little worried about it. I don't know if the Chiefs are gonna be able to win without him being healthy, but I'm gonna put him at number 2. And at number 1, it's Joe Shiesty. It's the sheriff. It's that guy.
Joe
It's him. It's the
Shiesty.
savage himself. It's the guy that never lacks for confidence, wears the shades everywhere. He's just him. I mean, when you
Swag.
look at which quarterback in the NFL is him, Joe Burrow is him. I mean, he just he you don't want anyone to have the ball if you're a fan of a team more than Joe Burrow in the last 5 minutes of the game because that guy
Yeah.
is clutch. He's gutsy. He's ice. He's just he's drippy.
Drip. Nice.
He's not
Swag.
scared of anything. He'll get the job done at the end of the game. So
Yeah.
again, going back on the list, I have Joe Burrow at number 1, Patrick Mahomes at number 2, Jalen Hurts at number 3, Brock Purdy at number 4, just because Mahomes is hurt. But I just feel like the AFC quarterbacks are better, but the NFC teams might be a little more complete. But
Yep.
definitely for the
Wow.
quarterbacks, the AFC quarterbacks are better.
Look at us agreeing on something for a goddamn change. Who would have thought? us
Yeah.
making a list that's identical. Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, to wrap up this episode, quick picks, NFC Championship, AFC Championship. We'll start in the NFC side. We got the big birds. I'm the biggest bird against the 49ers. Who is winning that game? Keeping in mind that you have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So,
dude, I'm so torn right now because I have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl,
yep.
and I don't want to be that guy to switch up, but I'm very nervous about this pick. I'm very nervous
You
after
can
what
go
I
with the
saw.
Eagles. That's fine. I
No,
won't
no, no,
judge
no.
you
I'm just gonna
because that makes
I
sense.
honestly because when you look at this, the 49ers and Eagles have probably the two best defenses in the NFL. The
Absolutely.
49ers defense is a little better at uh the rushing defense, and the Eagles defense is a little better at the pass defense.
Yeah.
So when you look at this matchup, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are basically a run center team. They have great wide receivers and they can pass the ball, but the running attack is what starts them off. And I feel like the 49ers defense will match up well with that. They'll be able
Mhm.
to somewhat contain Jalen Hurts. The Eagles haven't played any team this year that's even close to the level of the 49ers. So
Yeah.
I'm going to bank on that. The only thing that's giving me a lot of hesitancy is that it's in Philadelphia. The
Yeah.
Eagles look so perfect against the Giants. And I just I'm a little worried about Brock Purdy because he's been making some throws that like have been tipped and being just dropped by the defense. I don't think the Eagles are dropping those balls. I think they're going to convert those turnovers. So
Mhm.
I still think I'm gonna stick with my pick. I'm not gonna hop off the bandwagon now. I've picked the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna switch up like Skip Bayless and all these guys. I'm not gonna switch up like Kendrick Perkins. I'm gonna stick with my pick. The 49ers are gonna go into Philadelphia. Their defense is gonna show up, carry them to victory. Brock Purdy is gonna manage that game. And Jalen Hurts has been amazing all year, and I think he's gonna be good on Saturday or on Sunday. But I
Mhm.
feel like the Eagles are finally going to meet a team that can actually compete with them. They're not going to face teams like the Commanders, like the Giants, that are just not as good as them. They're going to face a team that's actually as good as them now, and they're going to
Yep.
have to beat that team. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it because they haven't faced that competition all year. They're an
Mhm.
amazing team, and I can easily see them winning this game. But I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to stick with the 49ers.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, Eagles basically played perfectly against the Giants, which is what I said would happen, but who listens to me anyways? Yeah, so, and again, I am one who has the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. And I can stick with that confidently because I'm an Eagles fan and I know how we roll. And in these situations, we lose. Here's what's gonna
Literally
happen.
won the Super Bowl like 5 years ago, and you're saying you lose in
That
this
was like Nick. That was with
situation.
Nick Foles, bro. Nick Foles was why we won that. There was nobody else on that team besides Nick Foles. Quite honestly, we could have cloned Nick Foles like 10 times and put like two sets of Nick Foles out there, and we would have won. Just saying. Anyways, but yeah. So what's gonna happen is Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. I've seen it, all over the thing about the Oklahoma Iowa State matchup from a few years ago when Jalen Hurts was at Oklahoma, Brock Purdy was at Iowa State. Jalen Hurts and the Oklahoma Sooners won that game 42-41. Very good game. But I think that this is going to be a very low scoring game. And
Hit
I
the under.
think,
Take the under in this
without a
game.
doubt, take the
The
under.
under. Hit the under.
Without a doubt. If it is anything, if the over under is if the
I
over
think it's
under
at
is from
45. I
40
think it's at
points,
45 right now. So take the under.
45,
Take the under.
under,
Yeah. Under.
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 But what's going to happen is both quarterbacks are going to throw at least two interceptions, or they're going to turn the ball over at least twice. Maybe not, maybe a
Okay. Okay.
fumble.
Yeah.
Both teams will turn the ball over at least twice throughout the
Okay.
game. I'm telling you this, it'll be Jalen Hurts will throw an interception, or someone will fumble the ball. Brock Purdy will throw an interception, someone will fumble the ball. I can feel it have at least two for each team, right? It'll be low scoring. Defenses are going to be what wins this game. Again, defenses win championships. This is a game of defenses. This has nothing to do with the offensive. You have two pretty decent quarterbacks. Not going to lie. Pretty good quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts shown a lot this year. Brock Purdy and his 7, 8 game resume has done very well for himself. But this is going to be a low scoring battle. I'm telling you this now. The final score will be 20-17 to the 49ers. It will be on a last second field goal by Robbie Gould. And that is how the 49ers are going to win the game. They're going to go to Philly. It'll be close. It'll be back and forth throughout the entire day. No one's going to score. They're just going to keep getting the ball back and forth. It'll be the defenses shutting it down. We're going to have a lot of
Punters are
three
going
and
to be the
outs.
star of this game. The punters are going
Yeah.
to show out in
Yes.
Philly on
Exactly.
Sunday.
So, yeah. And I just feel like Brock Purdy is going to have a rough game in Philadelphia, but
Yeah,
his defense is going to
he's
bail
going
him
to
out of that.
carry him.
And
Yeah.
because of that, and because of the win that the 49ers are going to get against Philly in Philly, that will then carry to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy with a new found confidence in not only himself, but in his team and his defense in particular, because now he has seen his defense work in a way that they can help him win the game. So I feel like they will go into Philadelphia. The Eagles were never good in this situation. Never good in this situation. You look back at Super Bowl 52 when we won that one. You look at the NFC Championship between us and the Vikings. It was not pretty. We had a better game against the Patriots than we did against the Vikings.
Wait, what are you talking about? You beat them by 50.
I know, but the way that we played was we played a lot better against the Patriots. The Patriots are a lot better than the Vikings. We shouldn't have even let that Vikings team score. They were atrocious. I hated watching that game because I was all like, we should be killing this team like 42-zip. Real talk. But yeah, I'm just saying that in the NFC Championship, the Eagles we're not the brightest team. But if we come out with a win, I'll take it's a win-win for me. I mean, to be fair, I'm an Eagles fan,
Because you're
so
picking the Niners and you want the Eagles to win. So it's a win-win. I mean, I got to say.
Eagles win, I'm happy. 49ers win, my pick is still alive. But yeah, I'm telling you this now. 2017, last second field goal, 49ers dub, go to the Super Bowl. Where's the Super Bowl being played?
Arizona.
Jesus. Why? um, they're gonna go to Arizona. It'll basically be a goddamn home game because honestly, we'll talk about it right now. Cincinnati Chiefs. I've got Bengals all day, without a doubt in my mind. I mean, maybe it'll be a close game. I just think that Joe Shiesty, Blade Joe Shiesty, will walk into Kansas City. Will walk into Arrowhead Stadium and just use the stadium as his personal toilet and just crap all over the Chiefs and the Chiefs defense. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes again injured. Maybe it'll be like one of those games where the injured player, for whatever reason, just like shows up without anyone knowing it. But yeah, it's weird because I always thought that if the Bills weren't playing the Chiefs, then I would have the if the Bills weren't playing the Chiefs, then I'd have the Chiefs winning. But now kind of a Bengals bandwagon right now. I can't lie. And now that the Bills are out of Super Bowl contention for me, I truly don't care who wins this AFC championship because no matter who it is, they're going to lose to the NFC team coming out of it. Because again, the NFC teams are just better as a collective. The AFC might have better players, but the NFC as a collective, when it comes to defense, I mean, the two best defenses are playing in the NFC championship. It's not even the Super Bowl yet. So me personally, I've got Bengals 49ers Super Bowl. I don't have a score prediction for the Bengals Chiefs game. I don't know. It could go one of two ways. It could be close. It could not be. It depends on it really depends on Patrick Mahomes, to be fair, because Joe Shiesty is going to pull up. But Patrick Mahomes, he's either going to stay injured and they might put, what if it's like another Nick Foles story where they just put, who's it? Heineke? Heineke's their backup, right?
Henny.
Oh, Henny,
Tad
that's
Henny.
right. Henny comes in, slings.
This pains me, bro. This game pains me so much because I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan, and it hurts so much because if he was healthy, this would have been a
Without a
massive
doubt.
legacy game.
Without
Get
a
his
doubt.
revenge against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's 3-0 in his career against Patrick Mahomes. This would have been a perfect opportunity for Patrick Mahomes to win against Joe Burrow, get to his third Super Bowl in his first 5 years, possibly win his second Super Bowl in 3 years, stamp his legacy as the best quarterback of this generation. But this one's very tough. This one's very tough because everyone's gonna say, "Oh my God, the Bengals are just gonna absolutely destroy the Chiefs because they look at the Bills' performance." But let's just go back a week. Let's go back a week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
How do the Bengals play against the Ravens?
And not only that, look at how
Terrible.
the Bills played against the Dolphins. Like, I'm not
Look
even
at how the
too
Bills played.
shocked.
Yeah, exactly. So we look at these two scenarios and we say, okay, the Bengals played well against the Bills, but the Bills clearly did not look like a good team at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They look like a shell of themselves. They look like a terrible team. They had no weapons. They had no diversity in their offense, and they look bad. When we look at the Bengals, they still have three offensive linemen out. And you know who you have to gonna face? Chris Jones, Frank Clark. That D line is gonna get after them. And also, it's not edge rushers. This is up the middle. Chris
Yeah.
Jones is up the middle. And
Yep.
if you put pressure up the middle on Joe Burrow, he's not gonna be able to move around and do all that crazy stuff. He's gonna be
Yeah.
stuck. He's gonna be stuck in that pocket, and he's gonna have to make a bad throw. So
Hmm.
I think if the Chiefs defense is able to step up and play like a top 15 defense, they don't even have to be great. They have to play like a top 15 defense. They have to get a few stops here and there.
Yeah.
I think that the Bengals defense is good. But if Patrick Mahomes, this is all dependent on Patrick Mahomes. If
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is 90%, if he's 80 to 90%, I think that the Chiefs can win this game. When we look last year at the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs were dominating that game,
Hmm.
and they made a few stupid mistakes right before halftime and moving into the second half. And Patrick Mahomes even said they choked that game away. They gave the Bengals that game. The
Yep.
Bengals had no business being in that game at all. So I still think that the Chiefs are a better team. They
Yeah.
ended the season with a better record. They should
Yep.
have beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, but they just gave the game away in a regular season game.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm very torn on this game is because Joe Burrow is like Tom Brady. You don't want to bet against this guy, and he knows how to win. But I'm going with my heart here. I want Patrick Mahomes to make it to the Super Bowl. He's hurt. I want him to get his revenge. He is the
Oh.
most talented quarterback in the NFL, and he's going to find a way to get this done. He's going to step up. Travis Kelce's going to step up. Juju's going to step up. Pacheco is a great running back, and that running game of Kansas City is definitely better than the Bills' running game. The Bills have no running game to speak of. The running game did give the Bengals problems, as we saw the Ravens could run on them, and that gave them problems. So I feel like the Chiefs offense, even with Patrick Mahomes hobbled, will still be able to put up points. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do a reverse of what the Bengals did. I think that they're going to win 27-24 this year in Kansas City, get their revenge, not let the Bengals beat them 2 years in a row in their home stadium to get to the Super Bowl. They are going to win this game, and it's going to set up my pre-postseason prediction of 49ers Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And this is 100% what I want to happen, not what I actually think might happen, but I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm not going to jump off the train again. I'm not going to be Kendrick Perkins. I'm not going to be Skip Bayless. I'm not going to be all these guys. I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to stick with my guns. And I have 49ers Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. Everyone thinks it's going to be Bengals Eagles, but I'm going to stick with what I said before. And dude, the Bengals are favored in Kansas City right now. And
Duh.
yeah, but why? There's no reason. It's in Kansas City, bro. Like the only reason is because of the injury. I don't know,
Yeah. Duh.
but still, it's not that's not a normal thing to be favored in a even if the quarterback is hurt. I don't think it's normal to be favored. Mahomes is still gonna play. It's not like he's not gonna play. So I feel like that's a little odd.
Yeah,
And
but keep
then
in mind a lot of his passes, he's on the run. Just saying.
yeah, but he can pass in the pocket. He's a good pass.
Think about
He
all
can
the
pass in the
sidearm
pocket.
passes that he has. The sidearm passes, he's never just standing in the pocket and then goes,
I don't know.
oh.
He did score points against the Jaguars even when he was hurt. So I mean, it wasn't
Yeah,
like
but
he didn't.
he wasn't rushing as much. I'll tell you that much.
He wasn't. He was not. But they still scored. So
So you have Chiefs. Okay. You have Chiefs winning the game just because you want them to win the game.
yeah,
But logically, you know damn well the Bengals are winning that game.
I don't know, dude. I think that Joe Burrow is someone you don't want to face in the game. But like, do you really think that the Bengals are going to go into Kansas City 2 years in a row and beat them both times in Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl? And don't just be like,
Um,
oh, I think they are. Like, actually, genuinely.
well,
Because when you look at
okay,
the Bengals,
like
if 2 weeks ago I told you that the Bengals would go to the Super Bowl, you say, hell no, they look terrible against the Ravens. You thought they were going to get absolutely clobbered by the Bills. Now they had one good game against a terrible Bills team that looked absolutely pathetic. I think that the Bengals, you know what? Screw it. I think they should be favored. I think that they should be favored going into this game because Mahomes is hurt. But I just think that the Mahomes is going to show his guts because you know Joe
what the
Burrow
hell
showed
is
his guts.
happening?
Patrick Mahomes is gonna get this done, bro. Mic drop. He's gonna get this done. Patty Mahomes is gonna get this done. I don't care if
Um,
he's I don't care if he's has to amputate that leg. I don't care if he's on one leg. I don't care if he's on crutches. I don't care if he's in a wheelchair. I don't care if he has no legs. He is gonna get the job done.
I mean, it's an interesting one, but yeah, no shot the Chiefs win this game.
No, dude, they need to win. Dude, they can't lose. Dude, Patrick Mahomes can't go 0-4 against Joe Burrow. I mean,
Dude,
you
look at
can't
what
do
happened.
that.
Look at what happened. Look at what happened when Jalen Hurts got injured. I'm not saying that the Eagles and the
Yeah,
Chiefs are
but
the
he's
same team,
actually playing though. Like Mahomes is playing the game. It's not
but he's
like
not
if Henny.
playing 100%.
I totally agree. But
And
if
look
Henny
at what
plays,
Jalen Hurts like 50% against the Giants. It was like what 22 to
it
16.
was
Come
terrible.
on,
But they were up.
we're playing
They
the
were
Bengals
up
here. Playing the
22-0.
Bengals
They were
here.
up
Postseason Bengals. Joe, icy.
feisty. I know, but like
What color's your shirt?
it's red. It's not orange. It's red. It's red.
Folks at home, we know that's orange.
No, this is red, bro. What do you?
I
This
must be
is a hundred
colorblind
percent.
because
Yeah,
that is
you have to be
orange.
color. This light is really making it seem orange, but this is red, bro. This is 100% red.
But yeah, so there you have it,
Patrick Mahomes.
guys. Our our
Oh,
NFL championship predictions for both the AFC and the NFC. Let us know if you agree, if you disagree. We love the comments. Again, we're planning on having a video about our comment section because we get a lot of you. And I say we try to respond to all of you as possible. It's not we, it's this guy right here. Or I should say this guy over here. Yeah, he's the one always commenting. So
I'm a menace in the comments. Yeah, so
whenever Dubs Only Sports, oh my God, whenever Dubs Only Sports comments back on one of your or replies to one of your comments, no, it ain't me. And most of these comments are about me anyways. So
yeah, these guys.
so
All I
just
gotta say is if you guys want to come with the smoke, which I totally respect, and I want you guys to come with
please,
the smoke, just
please.
expect the smoke right back at you. Because if you're coming with the smoke, you're getting it right back. You're getting it right back. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. And
That's
when we
gonna
make
do it
that
for
video, and when we make that video, you're getting the smoke back again. But you can end the video now.
thank you for your wise word. Jesus Christ. Follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. TikTok and Instagram, give us the smoke, like Dylan said. He wants the smoke. He loves the smoke.
All
Give us the
smoke.
smoke. And then yeah, full episodes on Spotify and YouTube. Little delayed right now, but we're gonna get them out day by day. I've been working a lot. Dylan's in college, so it's tough, man. But we're still out here. We're still pumping it out. They're gonna be out day by day. We've got what 14 through 20 basically coming out in the next 7 days. So
Yeah,
look
so
out for that
stay
if you want to
tuned.
watch.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing all that. But yeah. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.